Please rise for the arrival of the official party. United States Army.
United States Air Force. United States Coast Guard. United States Navy. United States Space Force. United States Marines.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the posting of the colors and the playing of our national anthem. please remain standing.
Colors, sir. March.
Now you may be seated.
Make way for colors.
At this time, I would like to ask, I know that you're on duty. We have a very good student body. So any staff members that are also veterans, I would like to ask you to come and join us in the center stage, please. Come on, you know who you are. Thanks, gentlemen. We're going to do something a little different this year, an ad from previous years. I'd like to ask the folks that are going to help me with the posters to come on up. The 5th grade students had a poster contest. They do this almost every year, and then the cadets are asked to judge those posters, and we present first, second, and third place. Now, the first place poster traditionally is kept on display in the cadet corps leadership lane for all to see, and that will be the case this year as well. So at this time, we'd like to announce our third, second, first place. Our third place was done by Stevie Small. And the second place was Elena Henry. I think she knows that the first place goes to Brooklyn Simmons. Nice job. The work just to your right of that was done by one of our senior cadets, Cadet Emma Marsh. So thank you, Cadet Marsh. It is my honor at this time to introduce our guest speaker. I'm not going to go through his entire bio because it is very lengthy. He has done a great deal to preserve the freedoms of our nation. I will tell you that he enlisted late 80s, and that enlistment took him to Texas, Colorado, Guam, Wyoming, Mississippi, Alabama. He, among others, he also had deployments in support of Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Enduring Freedom. This gentleman, this senior NCO, is a warrior, he's a leader, and he's my brother. And it is my honor to introduce Senior Master Sergeant John Groucher.
He said I was going to speak for a few individuals, so wow, good turnout this morning. Any Ohio State fans out there? Buckeyes. Okay, so we go nowhere loud. I'm the only thing standing between you and fourth period, right? Fourth period. So here we go. We're gonna jump on. We're gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna take you on a journey. By the way, the Bengals fans out there. You gotta sound like me. I'm from North Carolina, so we got Bill Belichick this year. So we were like, oh, here we go. We're like 2-7 or something like that. I stopped watching. So, but we're gonna pull because Burrow's back to the Bengals. My wife's from Cincinnati, so I gotta say that. But I'm happy to be here this morning with you guys. What a great venue to be a part of. The veterans over here, amazing. I'm glad you guys showed up, and I'm so proud to be one of you. I can't say enough about what you guys have done or continue to do. So I want to get through. I want to get to the main thing and all of that. First of all, anybody believe in miracles? Anybody? Miracles. Small miracle this morning was after 14 years of being retired, I got into this uniform. So my brother John Wilson, Master Sergeant Wilson, you owe me big time. My wife was laughing all last night. She calls it an outfit, and I'm like, it's not an outfit, it's a uniform. So I say, guys, still a uniform here. You know what I mean? It's not an outfit for guys. Not an outfit. It's a uniform. We play football. So I got to get to the main thing. Superintendent Quincy Gray. Thank you for having me here today. High school principal Matt Shelton. Middle school principal Jason Potts. If you're out there, give me a wave, something, let me know you're out there. Smoke signals, I appreciate it. I've met a couple of you guys already because Matt Sergeant Wilson, John Wilson gave me the tour of the facility. Very impressive facility. I also want to thank all of the leadership, the faculty, all of our special guests, the veterans, of course. Can we give our veterans a hand? This is the day I celebrate. You gave me on Memorial Day, that's a completely different mood. We celebrate being veterans today. I'm very proud to be part of that group. Also, and I don't want to miss this because I've done this before and it's not cool, I would be remiss to not mention my beautiful wife, Teresa, who is from the great city of Cincinnati in the great state of Ohio. She is beautiful in every single way. Fellas, I married up. You know what I mean? I definitely married up and I married her, and I truly believe God put her on the earth just for me. So selfishly, I have to say that she's an incredible lady, an incredible wife, and an incredible mother. We do have 3 kids that are in their 20s, so we've done okay. We've done okay for ourselves. But I want to get to it, and I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you all for having me here today. Middle school students, high school students, teachers. If you're around today, thank your teachers, because I'm here today because of some pretty impressive teachers in my life, and I will tell you the ones that you probably think you dislike the most are the ones that are making the biggest impact in your life, and you will remember them because they're holding you accountable. And I'll talk a little bit about accountability today, but I want to also thank my brother John Wilson, and he knows what he means to me. I'm going to get to it and talk about him a little bit. And anybody like to travel in here? Anybody? Okay, I got a few travelers. If you can indulge me for a few minutes, I'm going to take you on a little trip. I'm going to take you on a journey. So my fellow veterans, I know we always want to talk about combat and things like that. And there's a time for that. I'll mention it a little bit. I'm lucky enough to have been there and experienced it and get back. But I don't want it to be that kind of mood today. I want this to be a celebration of our veterans. Talk a little bit about what we've done and the journeys and the lessons that we gained along the way. So I told you guys I'm from the state of North Carolina. So long time ago in the state of North Carolina, that's where I grew up. That's where I hail. I was a city kid, moved out to the Outer Banks when I was about probably 13. So that's what I call home. Any of you older people in the crowd may remember Andy Griffith. So I used to bag Andy Griffith's groceries, if you will. He was a local like us. So if you're from Greenfield, Ohio, you kind of know everybody. This is kind of like Roanoke Island in Manio. And we say Manio, even though it's M-A-N-T-E-O. English teachers, the T is silent. We say Manio. And we kind of talk funny there. So if you find a local, Greenfield, Ohio, anybody here, say we talk a little funny around here, I don't think we talk funny. I don't think you guys talk funny, but we are called high twiters. And so you might hear somebody say, hey, this is Hoi Twite by the Samsung. And people are like, what are you talking about? But they understand. So if you look, you get it. And that's where I grew up. I always say it's important to remember where you started, where you are, and where you're headed, where you're going to, where you want to be, right? So where I started is North Carolina, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of where I come from. I was framing houses. I wasn't doing a lot with my life, right? Framing houses, surfing the breaks. I thought I knew everything. By the way, if you watch that Netflix series, The Outer Banks, that's not really The Outer Banks, but it's cool. So any of my guys, you know what I'm talking about. That's not The Outer Banks. If you want to know, come talk to me. I'll tell you after this. But I had a lot of people in high school. I had teachers telling me, my football coach, Punk Daniels, yes, that's his real name, Punk Daniels. I was like, you got to be tough with a name like Punk. And even my grandfather, who was a World War II vet himself, said, you're going probably to be in the military. And I said, no. Because typical teenage factor, I was like, I know everything, I'm not going in the military. But they were wrong. And so I joined the military. Actually, I was in the Marine recruiter's office. And I was getting ready to put ink to paper. Any Marines out here? Any Marines? Okay, not. Okay, I got a Marine Corps. Double dog, that's what we call them. I got a lot of Marine Corps buddies. And I was in there getting ready to put ink to paper. My pop walks in the office. And he's like, you're going to go to the Air Force. And you know, you got to respect your parents. You got to listen to your parents. And my dad's in there. And I was like, man, I really want to be a Marine. And he said, well, I really want you to be in the Air Force because A, B, and C. So I listened. I rolled down. I made the Marine recruiter really angry, but I went down and I joined the Air Force. Great decision. I've enjoyed it. It's been a great career. And I want to dedicate this day. I'll take a second and dedicate this day because I'm looking up at these banners and your name. My father just recently got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. So they gave him 6 months. Now, only God knows this. Only God knows this. Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Only God knows where we're going to go. And I can't think, I can't do something like this without letting you guys know that's the guy that gets me where I'm going each and every day. Well, my dad's middle name is McClain. I can't make that up. And my nephew is named after him. We call it back. His name is McClain. And I'm sitting here at McClain High School, 110 plus years. It's kind of cool. It's kind of surreal. I'm not going to cry. My wife knows it takes a lot to get me to cry. But my dad is really a staple. And so I want to dedicate this to him today. And I know he's going to win because he's a tough guy. But anyway, back to my story, my journey. I'm a proud product of the North Carolina public school system. Now I'm joining the military. Now, the funny thing, I'm going to give you some funny stories as we go along this trip, this journey. We have what's called an Air Force Form 392. That is called a dream sheet, right? So you come to the Air Force, you're like doing your thing, you go through boot camp, you're like, man, I get to go somewhere. Everybody joins for a different reason. Education, or to serve the country, which is the reason I wanted to join, or to travel. They give me a seat and say, hey, put your choices down of where you want to go, and we'll make sure that you get to go where you want to go. And I'm like, oh, this is great, where I want to be, where I'm starting. And so I put all my choices down. I put like Spain, Italy, I put Florida, California, and I got New Mexico. I was like, I didn't even put that on my seat. What happened? Anybody here knows what I'm talking about? Like, and they were like, the needs of the military come first. So it's not all about you. So early on, I found out, wow, it's not all about me. Okay. So I was like, maybe I'll get another stop down the road. So they sent me like 2,000 miles away to New Mexico, as far away from home as I can get. And I'm like, okay, middle of nowhere, maybe I can travel some and still serve my country. Which, a few months later, they sent me to Holland. So I'm in Gills Rhine, Holland. And anybody that ever worked a large-scale exercise, it is huge. And you work. You're not there to chill. There's no smoking and joking or anything like that. And so I'm in Gills Rhine, Holland, overseas, first time in my life. And I'm barely like 20 years old. And the World Cup was going on. Any soccer fans in here? Anybody play soccer? You soccer guys out there, okay. So soccer's huge in Europe. That's all they do. It's like football over here. And so I'm in a bar for the first time legally And the guy reaches over, I'm watching soccer with this guy, and he says, hey, if you ring that bell over there by the bar, everybody in here would really think you're cool. Now, I'm 20, so I'm like peer pressure, right? And everybody's cheering, and I was like, well, I want to be part of this. So I ring the bell. That means that you have to buy a round for everybody in the bar. And I'm on like slick sleep pay. I barely got a strike. So I'm not making a lot of money. And anyway, that didn't end well for me. So on top of working a lot of hours, I worked like 80 hours in 4 days. Now I'm broke. And on top of that, I'm late to work. Anybody in there ever been late to class, late to work? Anybody? If you're not raising your hand, you're lying so bad. You're lying. But that's okay. I was late. I was 10 minutes late to work. And I was a pretty good troop. And here comes Sergeant Buxton. The Sergeant Buxton said, I need to see you. And I was like, oh, man, I'm busted. So, and Sergeant Buxton says, you let people down today. You were late. People were depending on you. I said, man, Sergeant Buxton, like, we're working 18-hour days. She said, I don't care. You let me down. And I was like, man. And I got my first and only piece of paper. Letter of counseling right on the spot. She was not playing. And I felt bad, and I was never late again. And in fact, I never got a piece of paperwork again for the rest of my days. That taught me a lot about moving into the deployed zone. So a few weeks later, if you guys can remember, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, and I had like 6 days to prep. Basically, not even that. They put us on a plane that night and said, you're going in support of Desert Shield. So because of the lessons that I learned up to that point, I was feeling pretty good about going to the Persian Gulf, but I was still a follower. And I'm thinking, okay, where I started, where I am, where I want to be, this is all part of it, right? And so you don't get a dream sheet when they deploy you. My order said 90 days, and then there was a big X that said indefinite. And I was like, oh my God, indefinite? I could be here forever. And but I said, maybe I'm going to be positive. I'm going to focus on the 90 days. So it's the middle of the night. They dropped us in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, I'm like a 1 striper, 2 striper, barely 21 years old. And they go, you're not putting your gear there. You have to put your gear where tent E6 is going to be. I said, well, what spot is this? They said, that's tent A1. And we're building tent cities, so we landed in the middle of nothing. And I was like, wow. So once again, I'm thinking, they're sending me further away from home, and not even when I get there, I can stay in the spot I'm supposed to be in. So I marched like 7 cities away to where my tent was supposed to be. But the other thing that I had to do was I had to help everybody else set up their tents. So now I'm learning responsibility and teamwork and those kind of things. You know, I'm still remembering Sergeant Buxton's lesson of don't be late. Be something. People are depending on you. So I'm not going to worry with the whole Persian Gulf thing. We were over there a long time. I ended up doing well over 300 days. And then I came back to finish my career for my first term and headed over to Guam, as Don was saying. If you read that stuff, it's a little bit embellished, but a lot of it is true. I try to stay humble. But I feel very honored to do the things I've done. So I head over to Guam. And let me read I missed something key here in the Persian Gulf. I want you to think about this. The people we were fighting against are going to come back into play near the end of my session here today. So we're fighting against Saddam and his troops over there that invaded Kuwait. And now I'm moving to Guam. And they put me as the airman in charge of the base honor guard. So if you think about the cadets, the McClain cadet corps, I follow them on Facebook. They're awesome. I got to tell you, they're so awesome. I don't want to forget to thank them for the work they do. But this is exactly what I was doing every day. Posting colors, doing funerals, those kind of things. We were taking care of fallen comrades and people that had just passed on that have military honors. So I felt pretty good. Anything on the base that was happening was about me and the team, but it wasn't about me. It was about us. And so everything I was doing early on in my career was about taking care of other people. I was finding out quickly that not only was my dream sheet not about me, my whole career wasn't about me. It was about everybody else and who I was taking care of and who I was affiliated with. So I'm in charge of that, and I'm helping others, and we're representing pretty well. So my career's starting to take off, but it's not there yet. So not only is Guam a million miles away, they said, we'll send you back stateside, but you're not going back home. So I kept filling out my dream sheet, never getting what I wanted. And I said, I want to go to the East Coast. So they sent me to F.E. Warren, Wyoming. I was like, great, this is awesome. And I mean, they really don't have anything there. They have ghost stories, and they have these mule deer that run on the base. And if you hit one, you gotta go see the commander. So there's nothing to do really over there, except be cold. It's like the same temperature it is right here and right now. Outside, if you walk outside, that's F.E. Warren, Wyoming. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like the cold, because I grew up in North Carolina, it's not that cold there. So anyway, I'm asked to run the base honor guard at F.E. Warren. So I was like, at least I get to do what I know how to do. That's kind of cool. What I don't realize is I'm about to go from where I started and where I am to where I want to be. I just didn't realize it at the time. And so Chief Dickens, who me and Sergeant Wilson, Matt Sergeant Wilson have worked for before, he's on a recruiting tour. Not only is he on a recruiting tour, he's like on the recruiting tour. We don't realize the magnitude that the Air Force Honor Guard is about to go to. And we're just doing our base level honor guard duties. In walks Chief Dickens, who is probably the most, I would say, outstanding leader that I've seen in my life. He just has a presence about him. And he comes in with his team, and everyone is sharp. And when I say sharp, no one needed a haircut. They didn't even have hair on the side. Their uniforms were pressed. They stood differently. They talked differently. He talked differently. And he said, in his voice, I'm going to try to imitate him here, he said, Staff Sergeant Bratcher, what I need from you is a guarantee that if I bring you to my unit in Washington, D.C., that you'll take care of my lambs. I was like, I gotta be, right? I said, I gotta be a sheep herder? He said, no. I call my troops my lambs, and I'm the shepherd, and I take care of them. So if I bring you there, this is a big deal to me. And I was like, wow, this guy really cares about the people he works around. Now, mind you, he had done every single position on the honor guard. He had done them all. And he was a chief he made chief in like 15, 16 years, which usually that takes about 22 years is about the average. He was a chief master in like 15, 16 years. He was just really that great. And I was like, anybody that amazing, I want to go work for him. And then he says, submit your package and I'll let you know. And I was like, wow, he's like, and they're no joke. When they say submit the package, right? The package is a thick, all of your performance reports. So any of you students thinking that your report card doesn't matter, it matters. Okay, so that's a shout out to my teachers out there. I got one for you. Okay, support period, be paying attention. So he said, submit everything. I want pictures of you in uniform. I want to know what you've done when you sleep, when you eat, all those things. So I was like, okay. So I submitted the package. I didn't think I'd hear back, honestly. But I did. I got orders for Bowling Air Force Base, which is where I got to meet John Wilson. Because you don't just get to go be a ceremonial guardsman in the United States Air Force Honor Guard. You just don't get to do that. You have to go through training. I was like, how hard could it be? I already been through boot camp. First time I didn't have to fill out a dream sheet, which is great for me because I finally got to say, hey, can I go to Washington, D.C.? So that's like 2 wins for me. And so anyway, I meet Sergeant Wilson, then Staff Sergeant Wilson, and we're both like pushing 30, and everybody that we're going to be training with is like pushing 18. So we're already at a disadvantage. And we meet Jeremy Desjardins, Staff Sergeant, he was Senior Airman Desjardins right then, and he called us Staff Sergeants from the field. So I was like, I thought this was a badge of honor. We've been to war, we've done all these things. He said, you ain't nothing to me but a Staff Sergeant from the field. And this is how we do things here. And we learned quickly how they do things there. You have to realize you're going to be working at the White House, you're going to be working at the Pentagon. We, on any given day, we had as many troops that are right here, students in this group, and we were training them. We had, I saw everybody when the anthem ended, and Master Sergeant Wilson so gracefully said, hey, stand back up. That's what we had to do on a larger scale. The anthem is over, but the colors are not posted yet. So there's an accountability moment there that we all have to say, whoa, we made a mistake. And it's okay, I already told you, I made a mistake, and Sergeant Buxton put me up for that mistake. So now, we're enrolled in Air Force Base training with the best of the best. And we're thinking, how bad could this be? But you think you can do push-ups, football players, basketball players, soccer athletes, you think you can do push-ups until you go to the Air Force Honor Guard. All we did was push-ups. We did 1,000 push-ups a day, and that was to the conservative side. We pushed the ground, we went to the hallway and did inchworms. That'll get you up and close and personal with all your teammates. We sweated, and then we sweated, and then we sweated some more. But everything was about precision. You will be perfect in everything you do. If it's not perfect, do it again. Memory work. Don't miss a word. You learn about the history of the unit. You learn about the patches. You learn about the tradition, the history behind what you're going to be a part of. And I was like, man, we signed up for this. This is no joke. And then you eval in front of guess who? Chief Master Sergeant Dickens. Right there watching you, the guy that brought you on is like, I will let you know if you will make it through. And so you do your stamina test, everything like that. You're prepping for the main mission, which is Arlington National Cemetery. Now you think about that. If you don't think people are watching you now, try working in Arlington National Cemetery, because all eyes are on you. And we were like, man, I just don't want to mess this up. What we didn't realize, he was challenging us. He was throwing down the challenge to say, how good of a leader can you be? And I'm here to help you, but I want you to know, don't come here messing around, because I want you to be great. Enter Master Sergeant Williams, Tech Sergeant then, Chief Master Sergeant now. He was a drill sergeant first, and then he came to the Air Force Honor Guard with us. And so we got to grow with him. The thing about him was he was exactly the same as Chief Dickens. A little more swag, a little more loud. He was from Southeast DC, so we weren't going to get over on him. And he would challenge us from then on out, from day one. He said, you're going to have 30 or 40 troops that work for you. 30 or 40. They're all going to do the same job. You better not make them look the same, because they're not the same. And one day, they're going to need to get promoted. So you're going to train them right, you're going to evaluate them, you're going to put them up for rewards, and you're going to recognize them, you're going to develop them. And we were like, wow, this is big. We have one computer. How many of you guys carry a laptop? Or you got a pad, your iPad on you? Everybody got a smartphone, you better not have it on right now, because Sergeant Wilson already told me. So, but he was like, you will take care of these airmen. So what I spent my Saturday mornings, was my free time at 4 a.m. doing, was writing on the 33 troops that were assigned to me and figuring out how to make them different, how to set them apart. And so was Sergeant Wilson, by the way, because we weren't getting time at the one computer in P55 and Hangar, what was it, Hangar 1, I think, Hangar 1. We weren't getting time there. So I just want to say this, I want to close the book on that, but I want to say Sergeant Wilson and I became brothers at that moment. And we took care of each other. And we hurt, because we were dirty. So we took a lot of Motrin. Anybody 800 milligram Motrin? I don't know, my veterans know about that. We had it was like candy to us. 800 milligram Motrin was like candy to us. And we would get it icy hot by the cases and rub it all over so we could keep going. Because we were like, Sergeant Williams then and Chief Dickens are not going to take excuses. So we had to do what we had to do, but it was the most, it was the most amazing assignment. And I will tell you this, people said, well, you're not actually at war, you're in Arlington. But we're burying people that are coming back from the wars that were being fought. And I can tell you, thousands of funerals that we did, I teared up on every single one. Because when you hear taps, and you know you just laid that hero down, that'll move you. And if it doesn't move you, you're not an American. Just remember, freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. So, about that time 9/11 kicked off. 9/11, I will tell you what we knew. We saw the plane hit the Pentagon. We didn't know about the World Trade Center. We actually saw the plane hit the Pentagon, so we were like, this is a freak accident, right? 'Cause anybody that knows that airport knows Reagan National Airport is right there. It was not a freak accident. We were under attack, and from then on out, we were doing the Iraq-Afghanistan shuffle. So it kicked off. And so I'm thinking, oh, well, that's where I'm going. But there was different plans for me. Where you are, where you started, where you are, where you want to be. Now I'm a developed NCO. I'm a halfway decent leader. Now I've got more people to take care of. And I got a job, I got a position as a PME instructor. So I went to Alabama to be a PME instructor. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to sit in front of people like this and talk all day long. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach leadership, professional arms, communication, kind of like a teacher for the military, basically. So crazy thing was I had a pretty decent record. And General Petraeus and General Abizade came down and said, we have a mission to train the new Iraqi army in set amount of time. And Sergeant Bratcher came up on the list. And I'm thinking, man, I kind of like this job. This is at 85. You want to send me where? No dream seat, no nothing, military orders. You're going to be training the new Iraqi army. I was with the Marines, I was with the Army, I was with the Navy. They took the best instructors who had weapons training to train the new Iraqi army. Now, I'm going to hit on my students real quick. Anybody in here ever done a jumping jack? Jumping jacks, right? It's kind of easy for us. For some reason, this was a challenge for our troops over there. So I was like, you want me to train individuals that can't master push-ups and sit-ups and jumping jacks. And they have like a third grade education. And they said yes, and we want you to do it in this amount of time. Now mind you, this is the ironic moment, is the troops that we fought against in the Persian Gulf are now coming back, and we're training them to fight for the people that they fought against. If that's not irony, I don't know what is, but I was like, well, here we go, we got to train them. And if you ever want to read a good book, read the book Extreme Ownership, and it will talk about how difficult this was, because we had Navy SEALs out there that had to work with these troops. We had the best of the best saying, wow, this is our deal. But you know what we took away? They had the home field advantage. Just like you guys, when you have a home field advantage here, they had the home field advantage, and we could utilize that. So we taught them, we trained them in the time that was told. In fact, on the way over, it was kind of nice. I got to sleep in Saddam's palace while he ordered us all night long. That wasn't fun, but hey, we got there, and I will say where my leadership took off was, we got our intel brief, and they wanted to send us down one of the most dangerous roads in Iraq with no ammunition. And I was like, I don't mind going down the road, but I'm not going down with no ammunition. So thank God for the Navy. Where's my Navy guys out there? Senior Chief Stone said no. Any of you guys ever take the IQ test? Now, if you remember the old IQ test, it was like 9 dots, and you had to figure out a way to do 5 lines without letting the pencil miss the dots. What you had to do was you had to go outside the lines. You had to think outside the box. Just because one leader is telling you something, if it's going to just get you dead, that doesn't mean you have to follow that order just to get dead. You need to question some things. Thank God for Senior Chief Stone. I'm probably standing here today because of him. So I want to get to ending this ship and leave you guys with a few things. I'm pretty sure, I'm not even looking at the clock, I'm pretty sure fourth period is coming up on me. I want to circle back though, and I want to take you back. I told you I was a PME instructor, and this moment was special to me because when I came back from Iraq, now I'm a master sergeant. I'm just doing my duty, faculty superintendent, kind of what Master Sergeant Wilson does every day. I'm just taking care of people, and I'm running my classroom. And guess what? Guess who showed up in my hallway? Senior Master Sergeant Buxton, who had given me my first letter of counseling. Saw her coming down the hall. And And I said, now I'm a master sergeant, I'm not a rookie. I said, kind of like when you come back and you see your teachers, I said, Senior Master Sergeant Dawson. Well, I guess you can see I made it. And she said, I always knew you would. And I said, I want to tell you that that letter of counseling that you gave me changed my life. It changed the trajectory in my career. It made me accountable. It made me accountable to the people I was around. It made me build relationships that I still have today since 1998. And I said, you changed my life. And she said, no, you changed your life. I knew where you wanted to be, and I knew you were coachable, and I knew you were made of more of what you were showing me. I just made you do what you already knew you could do. That is a moment. That is a moment that you go, any principal that's disciplining your kid the right way, teacher, discipline the kid the right way, take away that lesson. And don't get mad. Don't get bitter, get better. I want to leave you guys with a few quotes of mine, and then I'm going to get out of here, let you get the fourth period. I want to thank you all for letting me spend time with you today. Some of the quotes I live by. John Wilson, you may have heard some of these. There is nothing as potent as the silent influence of a good example. If I do my full duty, the rest will take care of itself. Just remember this, leadership is a choice. Attitude is a choice. Character is a choice. Commitment is a choice. Service is a choice. Volunteering is a choice. Perseverance is a choice. And putting others first is a choice. Make your life extraordinary and extra special. Don't settle for less. Don't give in to peer pressure. Be something better. Do what you know you were born to do. And remember, whatever you do, do it with honor and with dignity. McClain High School and Middle School, thank you. Master Sergeant Wilson, my brother, thank you. Veterans, thank you. May God bless you all, and may God bless these United States of America. Come into this house and I have a gift for my brother. So I'm going to make him open these in front of you. He can explain about the gifts after. They are age appropriate and they're politically correct. So this is for my brother, Master Sergeant John Wilson, to honor with dignity. Pain is temporary, pride is forever.
I'm a little bit corrected right now. Nobody's capable of it. All right, so I'm ready to go because I have my icy hot and my Motrin, and I assume this is what my body will keep me going. All right, so I got everything I need that's be ready. So at this time, the McClain Symphonic Band and Show Choir will now perform America the Beautiful. Thank you very much. Something we did a couple of years ago, I don't think we did last time when we were remiss. I think it's important for the student body to know who specifically we're honoring today. So I'm going to take this microphone and Sergeant Little, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you guys would, just give us your name and branch of service, maybe what years you served, we'd appreciate it.
Kevin Little, I'm from the United States Army. I was in it from 96 to technically 1999 when I was medically discharged. I had achieved a rank of E4, which is a spec 4, and was a 91 Bravo, which was a medic.
Sergeant David Weeks, United States Army, 2005 through 2017.
Sergeant Jason Evans, 2003-2004, Iraq and Freedom.
Sergeant Chris Morrison, United States Air Force, 16th SOS, 92-96.
Sergeant Shane Pfeiffer, United States Army, 1998 to 2021.
Tom Jordan, Spec 4, U.S. Army, service from 69 to 75, Cambodia and Vietnam.
Jim Thompson, Master Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, 1965 to 1985.
Archie Barber, electrician, mate, second class, United States Navy. I served from 1967 to 1971. Mark Little, Master Chief Petty Officer. I served from United States Navy. I served from 1981 through 2012.
Scott Orles, Senior, United States Air Force, 1989-1993.
Staff Sergeant Jeremy Owens, U.S. Air Force, 1997 to 2007, Operation Iraq and Freedom.
Larry Corbin, United States Air Force, Air Traffic Controller, and Communications, Electronics, Installation, and Maintenance. And I served from 1972 to 1983.
Travis Allen, Staff Sergeant, United States Air Force, 97 to 2007. OH.
Senior Nicole Gossmeyer, United States Air Force, served 2006 to 2013.
Master Sergeant Brendan McClain, I served from 1992 to 2012. Brash, I don't know if you remember me, but we worked together at the Gunner NCO Academy.
Sergeant Sean Brown, from 2003 to 2014. Steve Shoemaker, Sergeant, United States Army, June of 1970, November 1973.
Captain Jerry Turner, United States Army, 1983 to 1989. Armored Cavalry, go Cat!
Curtis Carmen, U.S. Army, 1974 to 1983.
Sergeant Scott Butler, U.S. Army, 2006 to 2014.
Sergeant First Class Bob Gray, 1945 to 1971.
Ted Wayne, U.S. Army, 68 to 72.
Jennifer Flagger, U.S. Army, 2000 to 2004, 25th Infantry Combat Medic.
Sergeant Raymond Beatty, 91st Airborne Division, Vietnam, 70-71.
Brad Ford, U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant. In 2000, I'm currently still serving as the 124th Fighter Wing First Sergeant.
One more round of applause to the heroes among us, please. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's ceremony. Please feel free to come down and visit with our veterans and please remain in the area until your respect principle. Thank you and have a pleasant day.